Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I am brought to you by Hope Through Navigation. This is our Hood Recovery Services. Today is July the 25th, and you can reach out to me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Today is July the 25th, and I am going to do your spiritual principle day in a meditation. So I hope that you are excited about it. You can also subscribe by going to the website na.org, and you can subscribe to having this meditation sent to your email. Um, and so I look forward to hearing how you're enjoying doing the meditation. Let's go ahead and share the screen. And I have a meeting at 9. So I want to make sure I get in here and do this with you. July 25th, practicing maturity and grace, page 214. Facing uncomfortable situations and taking loving action is a demonstration of maturity and grace. That comes from the Living Clean, Chapter 7, Principles, Practice, and Perspective. Some of us took conflict avoidance to a new level. We didn't just steer clear of confrontations, we adopted a general policy that uncomfortable situations are best avoided. We applied this rule in our personal lives, with our family, at work, and in the fellowship. Given a chance, we avoided any circumstances that might be awkward. We made excuses and skirted around the very experiences that build bonds among humans. Embarrassed by our own unease, we dodged the friend who needed comforting, declined invitations to weddings, and switched meeting attendance following an embarrassing outburst. When we resisted showing up for life, our social awkwardness left us feeling incapable of taking the simplest of loving actions. An act of addiction. We may have convinced ourselves that we didn't care, not even a little. Our conduct was certainly consistent with that sentiment. Despite our every intention to remain aloof, we find ourselves learning to care as we begin to recover. A desire to increase our level of engagement with the world may sneak up on us in time, or it may not, or it might not. Some of us are loners by nature. It's just how we're wired. Finding comfort in solitude can be a beautiful thing. Isolation is a different matter. When we need help but refuse to pick up the phone, we might be in trouble. We learn to identify when enjoying our own company gives way to isolation, and to take the actions necessary to stay safe and clean. The steps help us figure out who we are and who we're not. Experience is a great teacher, boosting our confidence in simply being ourselves. I like that. Experience is a great teacher, boosting our confidence in simply being ourselves. Instead of avoiding awkward situations, we walk through them. We enjoy the payoff when we get to the other side. When we reflect on our actions, we can see our growth. We let go of our old ways of feigned indifference and find ways to be ourselves in the world. Our willingness to grow and to be ourselves in the world shows that we are evolving into a more mature version of ourselves. I will reframe my outlook on my own discomfort and take on opportunities to practice maturity and grace. What a firm resolve for the day. What a beautiful spiritual principle of practicing maturity and grace. You know, this meditation for today, I think I said just for today, but this spiritual principle of day meditation focuses on these spiritual principles of maturity and grace, and they have to go together, because with maturity, there is a tendency to believe that you're able to cope with things. Your coping skills are better. And that's not always the case. sometimes we really haven't developed coping skills because we've done such a great job of avoiding every level of confrontation, every difficulty. We are good runners sometimes. And I will be the first to say, I don't enjoy confrontation. However, I can definitely be very direct, and I can also ask the right questions today. And that comes with maturity, but it also comes with grace. Grace has so many different definitions, but the most simplest definition that I can give for the spiritual principle grace, the virtue of grace, is the ability to not easily, because sometimes easily implies that there was no effort at all, but almost seamlessly do something. When we say, oh, he sings with such grace, she dances with such grace, what we're saying is they make it look easy. It just flows. We're swept away in the peace that comes from observing a person operate gracefully with a gift or a talent. Maturity and grace go together because the grace to be diplomatic, the grace to be open and self-disclose, the grace to be vulnerable. That's where I'm headed with this. To be vulnerable enough that you no longer have to run from uncomfortable situations is developed. It's like an art. It is developed over time. It does not develop by running away from problems and situations. Today, I would hope that you would be able to do a comparison. You would be able to look at how you've handled things in the past, and you would be able to look at how you handle them today and see that you have progressed in your maturity and your grace, that you're practicing maturity. I like that word, practicing, because it means that you are intentionally putting forth the effort to get better at something. You can practice stupidity too, right? Right? So it doesn't always have to be get better in a good way. We can practice, ill behaviors as well and get very adept at them, which we did in our active addiction, but we're not actively using today. Hopefully we're not. And so I just want to say to you that I believe in you. I believe that you can come outside of your bubble, that safety zone. Yes, last week, not yesterday, but last week I had so many encounters with new people. And some of them, some reputations of the people that I encountered have gone before them. And I said, wow, I'm not sure how this is going to go. However, I'm going to show up. I'm going to do my part. And if I have any questions or I'm uncomfortable with anything, I'm going to ask, or I'm going to simply take my time until I get the understanding that helps me understand the situation better. And so it was a challenging week, but it was a beautiful week. And all of those new conversations ended up with joy and laughter. And I'm so happy to meet you, right? So if I can do it, I know you can do it. And people don't think I'm shy at all. They don't think I'm introverted at all. That's because I've practiced being outgoing. That's because I've practiced reaching out to people. I've practiced the art of gab, of being a social light. I've practiced it. It's not where I derive my energy. I derive my sense of wellness from my relationship with God. I'm very introverted, and I love the intimacy I have with God. And it affords me the opportunity to go outside of that relationship and do the work that needs to be done, that God has given me to do. with grace, with maturity and grace. And I want that for you. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Go back to that meeting you said you'd never go to, right? Go back to that conversation you said, I'll never have it again, right? And at the very least, express what you really feel, you know? We were having, you could say something like, we were having a discussion a couple months ago, and I just kind of retracted because I just didn't know how to go about conveying to you how serious of a matter this is with me. And I just wanted to see if you had a moment to meet over coffee at this place, at McDonald's, at whatever, right? Because I feel like if nothing else, I owe the relationship that we've had in the past the truth about how I'm feeling. And when you get there, you've already said a silent prayer of, the serenity prayer, and go in with faith that you can handle it, and just say, so how are you doing? And give them a few minutes, look at your phone, watch or whatever, and about, 3 to 5 minutes of them breaking the ice and telling you all that's going on with them. And say, it sounds like we're going through a lot, but I got somewhere else to be, and I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that I get right to the discussion, so that we can both have an opportunity to debrief with each other. And then you tell them, the last time I saw you, we had, a discussion, and you said a few things, and I was trying to let you know that I didn't appreciate such and such and how it was affecting me. And I just really feel, and then say how you feel. What I really want for us is, and what I really would like for you to consider doing that would, further this mutual understanding along, is for you not to do such and such anymore. And I was just wondering if that's something that you can consider, or am I, thinking that we're further along in our relationship than we actually are? You don't feel that you're not worried about my feelings, or just let me know, right? And then when you get done with that, just say, I hope that you have a beautiful day, and thank you so much for taking the time out to meet with me. I just really needed to get grounded on where we are in our relationship. And I see that we still have some work to do. Or you can say, I see that we misunderstood each other, and we're a lot further along than I actually was thinking. Or we are in a good place. I thought we were, but I wasn't sure by that interaction. And you could take those words and move them around and make them whatever you need to be, so that you can begin practicing, right? Maturity and grace. You deserve that in your life. You don't deserve to be constantly running away from dealing with situations because you're uncomfortable with the unknown. I don't believe in doing that anymore. I don't believe in doing that. And some people, they're drawn to me more as a result of my willingness to be plain faced and be, face value. Like, what you see is what you get. And some people are very uncomfortable with that, and I don't intend to ever make anyone uncomfortable, but I have lived such a life of discomfort and people pleasing that I intend not to do it anymore. Right? And I want that for you. I hope that you have a beautiful day. I plan to, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.